All right, everyone, welcome to today's recap. I hope you all are doing well and staying blessed. If you guys are new here, my name is Jeremiah and I'm a small cap day trader. Today is a more or less break even day, but I'm technically in the green. It was a bit of a roller coaster. I went from red to green to red to green again. And I traded a few stocks. I probably shouldn't have traded half of them. um, but nonetheless, I was able to not lose money today, thankfully. But I did FOMO in and break a few of my rules today, unfortunately. So I'm not happy about that. I don't know how many times this has been where I've FOMOed into a stock as it's pulling away and bought at the top, but it's been almost every single day of this month. Anyways, the first stock I traded was ATCP or ATPC. This stock has a float of 430,000 shares. It is a Malaysian company. It doesn't have news except for the fact that it actually does. So regains compliance with Nasdaq minimum bid price. Not promising at all, but I traded it. So I was thinking about this dip right here for the break through the high as a micro pullback, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't take it. But then it starts to pull away, and then of course I get FOMO and I jump in. I didn't even think about it. I just did it. It was just a reaction. It was an impulse, which is embarrassing. I talk about controlling your impulses, and yet here I am, FOMOing in, losing 53 cents a share on that trade. So not a great way to start the day at all. Yeah, not a great way to start the day. Next trade I took on this stock was for a dip, and then the move higher over this 1 minute candle. I know this was a revenge trade. No real entry. I knew this is a huge red doji candle, and I'm just buying right after. And after it pierced through this level twice in a row, and now it's back below it. So now this next trade, I'm buying the dip. It actually dipped below VWAP, which is not good. Should have been the dip off of VWAP, but I was buying near 9 EMA and VWAP, so that was actually not as bad as the other trade. This was really no entry. So this trade ends up being for absolutely nothing almost. Maybe even a loser. No, I think I sold it for a little bit of a winner. I actually don't know. Yeah, so a little bit of a winner. That got me down to $3 in the red. I'm still going with smaller share size. I didn't really sleep at all. I don't think I fell asleep last night. My mom was sick, so I had a little trouble sleeping for some reason. But thankfully, I was on smaller share size. We're still in a colder market, so I kind of want to take it easy in terms of share size. This was the break over this pivot. Actually, no, it already broke over. I was buying the dip back down to it, and I was looking for it to hold there, which it sort of was, and I think this was actually a decent trade. The break over the 1 minute pivot usually works pretty well, actually. So I sold there at 40. That was only a 6-cent trade, but nonetheless still chipping away at the loss. And so it's popping up a little more. I buy the dip there. I don't know if I waited for a dip there. Slightly dipped down, actually. It's like a little bit of a micro pullback. But it's not really pulling away to where I could justify it. And I could have sold it immediately. I sold it pretty quickly, but I could have sold it sooner. As soon as it's not working, that's when you sell it. So that was just a 5-cent loser, so not bad. But it actually does end up working. And I jump back in here, interestingly. So maybe I could have given it a second to work, but I don't know. With a micro pullback, it's I feel like it's breakout or bailout, but This thing ended up wanting to go. I knew that was a risky entry, just entering back in. It was sort of a revenge trade in a way. Um, so I'm not really proud of this one, but I don't know. I felt like it was gonna go. I knew that was risky. Anyways, that brought me down to 96 cents in the red. So I ended up taking an entry here for the break over $6, which is one of the strategies I like, half dollar and whole dollar entries. These have worked really well for me. And then a little scalp there. Um, that ended up being a break-even trade. Actually, a 1 cent loser, but not not terrible. All right, so I took another trade here. This was sort of a micro pullback. This brought me to flat on the day. Actually, 10 cents in the green. Essentially flat, but so yeah. So I was hoping for a micro pullback here, which didn't happen and didn't even pull back at all. Or a little dip and rip, I meant. So that didn't happen, but I just jumped in anyways and took a loss there. So now I was back down to $1.90 in the red. So this next trade was a little dip here with 9 EMA as support. This was a revenge trade. This doesn't really have an entry that I really take. Not really proud of this trade either, to be honest. So I took a trade here on RBNE. This stock has a float of 2.15 million shares. It's a Cyprus company, and it did not have news. No, it did have news. Sorry. It raised $13.9 million at an average share price of $4.31. So that was the news, and it was the trade I took was a sort of a 1 minute bull flag formation. And so it started to pull away there, and I got in pretty high actually. I probably should have got in on the 9 EMA, if anything, but it ended up going up for my entry, so that was all right. And so I sold that for a 3 cent winner. So pretty much nothing, but actually not nothing. I should be grateful. It's chipping away at the loss. So this next trade I got in here for, I really don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you guys. I don't know. Maybe the move up to the hive day. I honestly couldn't tell you guys, but I stopped out for 2 cents. But I didn't go red on the stock. So I ended up making a trade or taking a trade on LWLG. I think this stock had like a float of 150 million shares. I'd have to double check, but it was super high. I probably shouldn't have. It was a little micro pullback there, I believe. That was the entry I took. It kept not filling my order for some reason, which was really annoying. But I ended up getting a little bit of profit at least. So that was alright. So it didn't really even pull back that much, so I can't say it was a perfect dip and rip or micro pullback, but it was alright. Yeah, so this is a US company. It has a float of 132 million shares, so a really high float. And then I ended up taking this micro pullback here, I think. I got a good fill on that. I think I pressed my button when it was going up, or when it was at like 85. So this ended up being a loser. This stock was really kind of annoying, but I mean, that's what you would expect with this high of a float. So I got it on this little pullback here on the next candle, and I was looking for a dip and rip. This is not even a really good micro pullback at all. A micro pullback really refers to when a stock is squeezing higher super fast and then it dips down really quickly, and then you see green on the tape and then it goes. That's like a true micro pullback. None of these are really A quality at all. No trades I took today were really, really great, to be quite honest. So as it pops up there, I end up selling it whenever I get filled there. Yeah, so I take a dip here off of 50 on VRA. This stock is a U.S. company with a float of 20 million shares, so sort of better than at least it's better than 130 million, but still not. This, you can tell the stock is a grinder. You can look at the 1 minute chart, you can look at the 10-second chart and tell it's a grinder. But I ended up making 20 cents on that, so at least I didn't lose, you know. So I ended up taking one more trade on LWLG, and I was just looking for the squeeze up to 25. Yes, this was probably me foaming in, but I just thought I was looking at 25 and I'm like, we can make a move up to 25. And I guess if it didn't work, I would just sell like immediately. So I did get a fill at 24 there, which was nice, and it did go right up to 25 like I expected. I don't know what made me think that, but well, 25. I mean, 25 is significant. It's similar to $half and $whole. It's like, and especially with a stock that's grinding like this one, I think 25 was a reasonable spot to expect to be hit. We have a 34,000 share bidder there at 725 now, which is good. But yeah, seems like support there. But I think that was it for today. I was in the green 25 cents, so better than a red day, and I'm grateful for that. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all are staying disciplined and following your guys' rules. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Peace.